Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to another edition of Off the Board. And this is a series we do every month on the last Wednesday of the month. I am using this inspiration from Pinterest, which is what this challenge is all about. We go use our Pinterest boards for some inspiration and then create a layout based off of that. And so I really like the graphic of that kind of watercolory looking cake. And so I am recreating that to document Noah's other grandma's birthday. And I have pulled out my fluid watercolor paper. It's a 12 by 12 paper pad that is watercolor paper. It's what they call a block. So two sides of it are actually adhered down. Adhere is probably not the right word, but two sides of it are attached to the block, and then you can pull the rest of it off, or you can pull it off when you're ready to, but you just go ahead and watercolor right on the top page, and it keeps it from warping quite a bit. So I just took my ruler there and I put it on its side to kind of give me, I didn't really want a straight line. I just wanted a line that had kind of like a bowed line, but I didn't want it to be bumpy, so that's why I used the ruler, so it wouldn't have any bumps in it. And then I took a piece of just copy paper and I traced those lines because later I'm going to use that copy paper to mask the outside of the cake because I don't want to get any splatter around the outside of the cake. I want the splatter all on the cake. And so I went ahead and did that while the paper was still dry. And then I pulled out my Shimmers paints in my Clementine, and that's what I'm using for the entire cake. Just doing a little bit of a wash for each of the layers of the cake. And I started with that center one because the photos are going over the center one, and if I made any mistakes or I didn't like the color or something like that, it would be the easiest one to adjust because most of it's going to be hidden. Once I decided I liked it, I decided to go ahead and work on that top piece, and I just wanted to get a little bit darker layers at the top of each layer of the cake, and then let it be lighter as the water like ran down the page, which is pretty much what a wash is. And then that kind of just went along with the way that the cake is on the inspiration piece. So I really like how it turned out. It's soft and it's kind of delicate, but I mean, it's not actually delicate, but it's delicate looking. And I really like the softness of it. I had a kind of a hard time choosing what color to make this cake because in the photo there's like kind of like a sagey green shirt that he's wearing, and then there's blues and yellows in the background. So I decided to kind of pull this color based off of the skin tone. I went with that peachy tone. It is darker, of course, than your skin tone, but those mid-tones are very similar to like his face in the photo. So I thought that worked really well. I started splattering without putting the mask down, and so what I'm doing here is I'm just adding a little bit of water and pulling up the color, and you can do that on watercolor paper pretty well. And so I'm just kind of like erasing, if you will, with a little bit of moisture in my brush and no pigment. And then I am actually just using my eraser there to erase a couple of the lines that were still kind of sticking out from underneath the watercolor. Actually, they were not covered by the watercolor, so it made it easy to erase. And I think I just held up Oaky Bear Blue. I'm pretty sure that's the color I used. I might have held up Witch's Blue, but I think I actually end up using Oaky Bear Blue, and they're very, very, very similar. You can barely tell the difference between the two, and that's for the little candle, and I pulled that in because there's a lot of blues in the background of that photo, and the navy blue kind of goes well with that peachy color. And then the flame on the candle is just done in Dandelion, and those are all Shimmers products. They are actually, the Clementine and Dandelion are both creamies, and the Oaky Bear Blue is in Inklings. And so I went ahead and created one of those photos larger. I want that to be kind of the focal point, and I am going to pop that one up onto some foam, but I did want to include the others as well, including a picture of the cake. My daughter made the cake, which is a chocolate espresso cake, and then it's got like a peanut butter cookie crumble on top of it. And those are flavors that Noah's other grandma really enjoys. And so my daughter had made that for her, and I wanted to make sure I captured that as well. And I don't have a lot of photos of him with her, so I thought this would be a really good way to get a couple of photos with her in his album. So that is why I am documenting it. It's not really for my album, it's for his album. And I really like the way that this comes out. So pretty happy with the way it turned out. And there's the cover of the fluid watercolor pad. If you're interested in that, I buy it off of Amazon. I'm sure you can get it at other art stores. I don't know if craft stores like Michael's carry it or not, but they do have it at, like, they do have similar things at fine art stores. So as you saw there, I did pop that one photo up onto some foam, and I'm just sticking a punch over the top of it so that it kind of holds it down while the glue is drying a little bit. And then I had die cut on my digital die cutter, my Silhouette Cameo, the word birthday, and I did it 3 times because I'm going to layer it up on top of each other to give it kind of some added dimension. And I really like the way that it looks, but I wanted that top layer to have a little bit of blue to it, because as you could see when I pull that matte away, the white does not show up really well over that really light peach. And I wanted to bring some of that blue down into the bottom of the layout because I've got the blue at the top with the candle. So bringing it into another area was a good idea, just to kind of make it balanced, and it has a lot of continuity that way. So my 2 main colors of focus are that navy blue and that peachy color. And so in order to layer these up, I just use my liquid glue, and I prefer using the Nouveau Deluxe adhesive. It comes out super thin and it glues very quickly, and it dries matte and clear, so it works really well. It is a little bit of a struggle to kind of get these lined up every once in a while, but it's not too bad because this one is kind of a bigger cut than some of the other ones that I've done. When they're really small, it makes it a little bit more difficult, but it's definitely worth the effort because it looks really nice and it gives you that really good layered look, or dimensional look, I should say. It's not really, doesn't look layered, it looks dimensional. And so I did trim down my watercolor paper by 1/4 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch all the way around. And I am backing it on a navy blue, or a piece of paper that has a navy blue edge on it. And I really like the way that looks. It kind of finishes everything off. It makes me happy. And then I am using my eraser now that my watercolor's dry to erase any pencil lines that are able to be erased. Sometimes when they're underneath, usually with watercolor, you can erase quite a bit of it, except under like yellow. But with the shimmers, it's a little harder to erase those lines. But I just erased what I could. And they're not super bold or anything because I went over it really lightly. And so it's not a big deal that there's a little bit of pencil mark on there. Okay, and then I am actually going to go put that navy blue, I kind of dry brushed that navy blue onto the top layer of the word birthday, and so I'm putting that layer on right now and just going to adhere those together again. It's almost like a laminate, basically. That's how they make laminate wood. It's lots of layers with glue. And so, yeah, same idea. And it actually makes it stronger too, because some of those pieces, like where the letters connect to each other, are very fragile. So this definitely gives it a little bit of strength. And I know I want this word happy on there, and I'm just trying to figure out how I want that to be situated with the word birthday. I do end up putting it about right there, and I'm going to cut the tail of the Y so that it kind of loops through the word, the loops on the beginning of the B. So it's not the actual B. There's like these curly Q loops at the beginning of the B, and I want those to show, so I will cut the Y. And that was a little easier to do than cutting the 3 layers of paper that make the word birthday, because the Y just is a piece of cardstock, or it's like mirror cardstock with foam underneath. So it's much easier to cut than 3 layers of the cardstock. And I do have to kind of do a little surgery on that P as well, because it runs into the B, but it's not very difficult to do. I just take out my cutting mat and a pen blade, and I just trim it out so that I can nestle it in just exactly where I want it. And while I do that, I'll just remind you that this hop happens every month, the last Wednesday of the month. Crystal Bear has started this a couple years back. If you check out my playlists, I have a playlist for all of my off the board stuff. I've been playing along since the beginning with her. And then in July, we did a video every day all month with using our Pinterest pin boards as inspiration. So I've got a lot of stuff on my channel. She's got a ton of stuff on her channel, and there were several other people that were playing along. You will find everybody who's playing along this month down in my description box, and you can just link up to their videos. If that's something that you're interested in, I highly encourage it because for me at least, it really makes me think outside the box to go like check out Pinterest and go, oh, well, how could I use that pin in a different and a unique way in scrapbooking rather than just, pulling a sketch or another layout. I try to use things that are a little bit different. And it's okay to use a sketch or a layout as your inspiration, but I just think it's kind of fun to use different things as much as possible, whether it be architecture or, paintings or mixed media, or I even have used tack on a horse as inspiration. So there's all kinds of good stuff out there. And it just kind of makes you think a little differently about putting your layout together. So go and check that out. I do have this sticker set that I have pulled out, and I am using the florals from it and the navy blue words off of it, and I'm pulling those pieces in. That's making it really simple to complete this layout because I don't have to go digging for a whole lot of other ephemera or anything. This sticker set basically was like the perfect complement to the layout. So I was really happy to use that. I've had it in my stash for a couple of years now, and I'm really happy to use a bunch of the pieces off of it. And I think it really looks cool because a lot of times you see cakes that have flowers on them and stuff. So I think that was a perfect addition to the layout. So kind of just makes everything soft and girly, and we're celebrating her birthday, so that makes sense. And I think it looks really cool, and it's a lot of fun. And I like that they're dimensional as well. So they are puffy stickers. And then I usually have a hard time using these little, I don't know what they're called, stars, sparkles. But in this case, it was really pretty simple. Off camera, I do add a couple more, and I didn't get still shots of it because I had this already done before. I had all of my video pulled in and sorted out before I thought to add a couple more of those little star bits down by the two flowers. But there's a couple more added, and I apologize you won't see that in the close-ups, but you can imagine it, hopefully. So here come the close-ups. Thank you so much for watching. If you have questions or comments, you can leave them down below. I will get back to you as quickly as possible. Don't forget to go and check out everyone else who is playing along. Thank you again for choosing my channel today, and I will be back again next month with another off the board. So definitely come back for that. And don't forget to go check out Crystal's channel as well, because I know she's got some awesome stuff up her sleeve. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.